Do you think in polygyny that any incoming wife has to gain permission or gain approval from any initial wife? Or do you think that the husband has to gain permission or ask permission or gain approval from his wife before he decides to marry another? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about what I call the subsequent wife or incoming wife syndrome and how it has been affecting and negatively affecting actually a lot of different polygyny marriages and just relationships in general. Stay tuned and watch the end because I'm going to give some tips on how to get over the subsequent wife syndrome and just pretty much some good relationship building tips, whether you're in monogamy or polygyny. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Nyla, Coach Nyla, one of your favorite co-founders and coaches from Outstanding Personal Relationships and OutstandingPersonalRelationships.com. Yes, polygyny is not always easy. Marriage, period, is not an easy thing if we allow a lot of the outside negative influences to influence our marriage. So here's the thing. When it comes to polygyny, people look at it as something totally foreign, something totally different. And it is different, but it's still a form of marriage. And pretty much the same rules or similar rules apply to polygyny as it would to in monogamy. And the thing is this. When you're in polygyny is a man married to multiple women. That's what polygyny stands for. The women are not married to each other. The wives are not married to one another. The wives are married to the husband. And when it comes down to it, if you look at it, he is monogamously married to both women or those women or, because it could be more than two. In Islam, it could be up to 4. In other religions, it could be, there's no limit for the most part, or not that I know of, but I know in Islam, it's up to 4. So, but the man is monogamously married to them. What does that mean? Well, that means that you have to mind your marriage. I talk about that so much. And we talk about that throughout Outstanding Personal Relationships in a number of our videos, because whether you're in monogamy or polygyny, minding your marriage is key. Minding your marriage is key to a happy, healthy marriage, because we have a lot of things that can cause some issues. One is comparison. I heard that comparison or comparison or whatever you want to call it is a thief of joy. You could be so happy, and then next thing you know, you see someone that has something that you may want or something that you don't have, and then you start to feel like you're lacking something. So how does that equate to the subsequent wife or incoming wife syndrome, as I talked about in the intro? Well, the subsequent wife or incoming wife syndrome is pretty much where the incoming wife, regardless of what number she is feeling as though that she has to seek approval from any other person other than her husband to be married to him. Where she has a less than feeling, as a feeling that I have to do so much more to be worthy, so to speak. So in order to match up, I have to bring an extra to the table, where you have people that will say, and it's around the board, ask the husband, why would you marry another wife when you know that your other wife is upset about it or that she doesn't like it? Even though he's doing the things that he must do to provide for his family, provide for his wife. And we've had so many videos, and if you haven't seen them, definitely check out the other videos on YouTube. Coach Nazir talks about just a lot of the difference between men and women, especially when it comes to polygyny. Women will never fully, truly understand why a man will want to practice polygyny. See, it's not about that women would not understand polygyny. It's a woman wouldn't understand why a man would want to practice polygyny and would go to the lengths that he probably would in order to practice polygyny. Because when it comes down to it, you have people, their mindsets are very shallow and they think that it's just a sexual thing. And I didn't say that it's not sexual. I said that it's just sexual. And it's not just sexual, because you can get sex anyway and you don't have to be married. I mean, we know that. We're adults here. I mean, it may not be moral sex. It may not be halal sex or permissible sex, but it's still sex nonetheless. So you technically do not have to get married in order to have sex. But when it comes down to it, people don't understand the true reason or the true feelings behind why men want to have more than one wife. Our husband goes into that in a number of his videos, so this is not the video for that. So if you guys want to know more about it, definitely check those out. And at the end of the video, I will pretty much post a link to, or in the description as well, I will post a link to those videos. So, subsequent wife syndrome. Why is that so prevalent? Why do people feel that any incoming wife have to get permission or approval from the initial wife? A lot of times it's because of conditioning. I mean, pretty much that's what it is. It is because of conditioning. Because we feel that when we are the first, or we are already married to someone, that they are ours. And it's almost like a possession, where you feel that I have control. I have this person is mine. So I don't want to share. And I've heard it been to be compared to like your favorite dessert. Like it's yours, so you don't want to share. But see, when it comes to desserts, when it comes to your clothes, when it comes to your car, when it comes to anything that you own, that's your favorite thing, it's your possession. It's yours. But people are not our possessions. They belong to Allah. They have their own feelings. They have their own thoughts. They have their own will. They do what they please. And we cannot control that, no matter how hard we try, how hard we want to manipulate that, how hard we feel that we can. The only way we can allow a person to do anything that we want is if they allow us to. If they decide that they want to do the thing, even if it's reluctantly. It's not something that we did. It's something that they decided to do. Unless you know some type of hypnosis and different types of things like that. Besides that, we're talking about in regular, everyday, normal life. So when it comes to when it comes to being a subsequent wife, when it comes to being an incoming wife, some things that we start to see, we say, you know what, we don't want to see a person hurt. Totally understandable. No one who has a heart, no one who's in their right mind, no one who has care will want to see anybody hurting. And if you feel like that you are the cause of someone's hurting, you will want to do anything and everything in your power to stop it. Even sometimes when it comes to your unhappiness or your detriment. That's what I mean about the subsequent wife or incoming wife syndrome. Feeling that you are not allowed the happiness of a marriage unless the other person, the other wife, is happy. That you're not allowed a good husband, even if he's married to someone else, because the initial wife is unapproving or displeasing of it. The thing is, when it comes to minding your own marriage and minding your marriage, you have to make your marriage work just as much as they have to make their marriage work. As I stated before, polygyny is being monogamously married to the person you're married to. but it just happens to be that the husband is married to multiple women at the same time. Those marriages don't intertwine in a way where you have to get permission from each other in order to do the things that you must do to make your marriage work. With this, just look at it this way: as an initial wife, regardless of what number you are, as an initial wife, do you say, if your husband was to, think about it, if your husband was to say that he wants to marry again, that he wants to marry another wife, do you say, well, let me see what I can do to make it easier on her? Let me see what I can do to make it easier on you so your marriage can be happy. What can I do to make your marriage happy over there? No, you don't. Or when you married your husband, did you say, well, let me make sure that your mother is okay with it, your auntie is okay with it, your cousins are okay with it. Let me make sure that they are okay and that they're not feeling some type of way. Because you have some people who mothers do not like, or did not like, not going to say do not like, but did not like the thought of their child, so I mean their offspring, getting married, and probably married to the person who they got married to. But did that, yeah, you may have had some feelings. You may have felt bad or negative or anything like that, or that person may have felt negative, felt bad. But when it came down to it, it's like, this is my marriage. This is my happiness. What she feels or what they feel should not infect what I want to have in my marriage. And the same goes for polygyny. The same goes for polygyny. This is a concept that some people don't understand, because polygyny is not being taught, being told, being given the same type of platform as monogamy. But alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, that my co-wife, our husband, and I decided that, you know what, it's due time, it's past time. Because polygyny is being practiced. And it's an interesting thing when people say, yeah, polygyny is okay if it's done right. Anything is okay for the most part if it's done right. What thing do you want that if it's not done right, you will say, hey, give me that? So it's really interesting that when people bring up the concept of polygyny, the first thing people would say is like, well, I see that if it's done right. Of course, that's like duh. That's with anything. If marriage is done right, if cleaning the house is done right, if cooking food is done right, whatever we want, if it's done right, is a great thing. So that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, people don't understand the concept. A lot of people don't understand the concept of polygyny because monogamy has been heavily pushed. Monogamy, we're not anti-monogamy at all. Definitely pro-morals. The one thing is that people look at our channel and they say we're really pro-polygyny. The thing is that we are pro-morals, we're pro-marriage when it comes to morality. And the thing is, we just talk about polygyny a whole lot more because it doesn't get its fair shake. And yes, we are a polygynous family. And we want people to know how to see it for what it is and not for what they want it to be or for what they assume that it's supposed to look like or what they assume that it looks like. Because they mix up a lot of the polys. They mix up polyandry with polygyny or polyamory with polygyny and these different things. And we talk about the differences in a number of other videos. But as I stated before, polygyny is one man married to multiple women. And he's married to them, meaning that he has the responsibility to take care of all of them, not just one. And there's no hierarchy. There's no, well, I was here first, so I get the majority of whatever it is I get. And it's not a, well, I was here first, so you need to ask my permission. You need to make sure that everything is okay with me before you do whatever you want to do in your life. So, yes, as much as we don't want to see another person hurting, we have to realize that it is up to them to go through the motions and go through the emotions how they see fit or how they are going to go through them. We're all adults here. Are we being emotionally intelligent? Is there a reason why we are upset? Is there a reason why we are so against it besides it being societally ingrained in us? We have to ask ourselves these questions. Do we have a good husband that can take care of the things, that have been taking care of the things, and that still love me the way he's been loving me? And is any incoming person going to take that away? No, it's not. No, she's not. Unless he allows that. Unless you allow that. Because in order for you to allow that is for you to make a lot of things difficult. Is for him to allow things to be difficult. It's him allowing things to not be fair. Yes, it takes time. It takes energy. It takes commitment. It takes respect. It takes understanding. It takes a number of things. And that goes with monogamy or polygyny. It doesn't matter. So the thing is, yes, as I stated before, as much as you want to make it easier on someone else, realize that you don't have that power. They have that power. So what you should do as an incoming wife is focus on your marriage. Mind your marriage. Yes, it sounds great that you want to have an understanding co-wife, that you want to be friends with your co-wife. It's not mandatory. And maybe somewhere down the line and down the road, it may happen. But first and foremost, what you got married for is getting married to your husband, not marrying your co-wife. And you got to realize that you do not have the power to make her happy. You don't even have the power to make your husband happy. You can do the things that you want to do, that you need to do, that you think is great and fine and nice to make your relationship, your marriage peaceful and successful. But when it comes to any other person, it's their decision on how they want to feel, including you. No one can make you feel a certain way. You have the choice and the decision to make in order to express or display or feel how you feel. So when it comes to trying to combat that subsequent wife syndrome, first and foremost is realize that you have just as much right to a happy marriage as anyone else. And that you are not coming in to destroy anything, because you can't do that. You do not have the power to do that. It's so many things that happen in our lives that can destroy marriages, that can destroy our marriages, even in monogamy. You can have loss of income, financial craziness, a death of a loved one, pandemics, whatever, that can destroy it if we allowed it. So think of it that way. If these things cannot destroy a marriage if we don't allow it, how can you? So look at yourself and say, I know what my intentions are. I know what I want. I know that this is where I belong, and I am deserving of it, and I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody. And focus on your marriage. Mind your marriage. So know that you are worthy of having happiness and having a successful marriage, and work on your marriage. And don't be disrespectful. I mean, of course, you wanting to be kind and you wanting things to be happy all around the board, it already shows where your heart is. However, don't allow someone else's unhappiness to cause you to be unhappy. That's something that they have to work on. And yes, as much as you want to try, realize you can only do what you can do, but don't do it at the detriment of yours. So, and that's period. That's whether you're in monogamy, that's whether you're in polygyny. Okay, so I know this is a lot of information. Make sure you guys comment below, like, subscribe, hit that bell, because you do not want to miss an episode. We upload new videos Mondays and Thursdays, and we look forward to seeing you guys. We look forward to hearing your comments. We look forward to hearing your questions. And if you want to get in touch with us, make sure you connect with us at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com, and that you make sure you watch the other videos. As I stated before, I'm going to put some links down to the videos that our husband, Coach Nazir, has done about polygyny and why a man would marry more than one wife and all those other good things. So yes, make sure you guys are following us at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. If you have any questions, send them to support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com, and make sure that you comment down below and share it. Sharing is caring. So yes, make sure you are always practicing GLC, that you are growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. Until next time, assalamu alaikum. Peace.